Good afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and at Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. Cochran with my co-host,
Mike Dowler,
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, guest Nedra Barlow of NOLA Medical Transport. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and
yes.
No, it's good afternoon.
It is.
Is it? Oh, yeah. It is afternoon.
See,
Yes.
12:07.
It's afternoon. Well, thank you for having me.
And tell us, what is your company all about?
So NOLA Med Transport is a non-emergency medical transportation service here, and we're located here in Santa Clarita. We take clients to and from medical appointments, outings, dialysis appointments. So anyone who have mobility disabilities, seniors, and just need that transportation, a need for
Who
transportation.
don't drive.
Yes.
I do very little driving
Yes.
anymore.
Yes.
I've got a 1988 Lincoln Mark 7
Oh, wow.
that I keep in.
to sell it?
No, are you kidding me? Never. But I take it around the block
Okay.
just to keep it running.
Yes.
you
Just
know,
to keep you.
But I don't go out on Sierra Highway or places like this because at my age,
Oh, please. Las Vegas or anything.
oh, are you kidding me? No, at my age, my concentration isn't what it should.
Yes.
And I thought, Barbara, you don't need to do this. That's not worth it. So I don't. I just drive around the block.
Yes.
It's safer that way for me
Sure.
Mhm.
And others.
and others. You're absolutely right.
And we talked before we came on. NOLA Med NOLA stand for.
So NOLA, I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. Well, right outside of New Orleans, in Slidell. But NOLA stands with assistance. So that's what the NOLA stands for.
Navigating our loved ones with assistance.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But you got that New Orleans in there as well. That's good.
Yes, my hometown.
Awesome.
Yes.
So people can call you.
So the way it works, Barbara, we have a website, which is nolamedtransport.com. You can call us at 661-600-5525 to or you can go online and request a ride with your email, and then I call you back.
So it's 661-2
No, 661-600.
600.
Yes, ma'am. 5525.
Okay, I thought you said 200. I'm also getting deaf, aren't I?
No, I just think that
Just
I
say
speak fast.
661-600-5525.
Yes,
You can't mess that up.
yes, easy.
NOLA Med Transport.
Yes. So say, for instance, if you needed a ride, Barbara, you would give me a call. I would want to know where I'm going to pick you up from, where I'm going to drop you off. If you're a wheelchair or ambulatory client, meaning if you're ambulatory and walk inside the van without my assistance. Some people still need assistance even if they're ambulatory. Then I would know what type of appointment it is.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because I have needed that many times.
Yes,
Needed
and I
a
can just tell
ride.
you a little bit about it. I have been a respiratory therapist for 27, going on 28 years.
Oh.
I just retired from UCLA Medical, working for 27 years. This came about because my mom, she had a massive brain aneurysm 6 years ago. I found it was here because I couldn't get transportation to take her to and from appointments. So I did some research, and non-emergency medical transportation is actually a thing, and I started my own company here, my husband and I, Stephen Barlow.
Nedra, I think the biggest thing that really caught my attention is the fact that you have medical assistants, medical professionals who are your loved one to and from.
Yes.
Well, I'll have my neighbor, take my elderly mother, or I can call one of the ride services to do that, but you don't have that medical expertise.
Not only that, Jen, medical expertise. My husband and I are both respiratory therapists, and then we do door to door and we do through the door. So I can up and put assist them in their chair and then take them to their appointment, check them into their appointment, wait for them. We do wait, and then we'll take them back to their home. No waiting with us. We will be there waiting for you.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting because
Yes.
I have a history with that. I had a respiratory infection that my daughter didn't want to take me to one of these medical assistance places.
Yes.
To the and I had to use a walker,
Mm-hmm.
and loaned walker,
Yes.
which I still use when I have to move around the house. I also have two walking sticks,
Mm-hmm.
and I use the walker around the house because I tried using both walking sticks and the chairs,
Yes.
and I almost fell. I was in the process of falling, and I thought, no, those sticks will stay away. And then I started taking walks and walking up and down the street using the sticks.
Yes.
First I used the walker, and then I started using the stick. And now I don't use the sticks.
That's good.
I'm very careful, and I walk slowly around the house if I have to go into the kitchen from the living room and that kind of thing. And I used to have trouble getting up out of this big chair I was sitting, this armchair I was sitting in. CVS Pharmacy and every furniture store out here to try to find a seat that I had seen advertised on TV that would lift you up
I know
and
exactly
help you
yes.
get out of the seat. So we finally found one at CVS,
That's great.
and they delivered it, and that's what I use. And I push that button to lift the chair, and stand up easily, and not have to worry about pushing myself.
And you're lucky that you have your children who they bring you here for the and
my
I know
daughter
your
and
daughter
son,
takes
but-
you places, but wouldn't it be nice to, yes, you can have your kids help you, but also have NOLA and Nedra.
Exactly.
It's great. It's a great combo.
You know, it's definitely, I noticed that for clients, if you miss an appointment, 4 or 5 months sometimes. So transportation is a big necessity when it comes to medical appointments for people of all age. We take care of all age group, but mostly here in the community, a lot of the seniors, a lot of their families have moved away. So they're calling their neighbors or those who are busy and can't get to them. So with us, if they call us 24 hours in advance, we can take care of their needs for them. And
Yeah,
And that's
that's
important.
terrific. It is very important. Well, my son comes down on Tuesdays and takes me on your center
Yes.
because I'm involved over there. And then usually Wednesday, my daughter brings me here and takes me to my hair appointment or whatever.
yes.
And then they go home. So they're down here a couple of days a week. And then I have a granddaughter who just moved in, live in and had to drive all the way to Northridge
Yeah.
to go to work every
Yes.
day. And so she's living with
To have family and a lot of people that I have noticed being here in the community, which I love. Santa Clarita is so amazing.
Oh,
I've been
it
here
is.
since 2011.
been here since 1968.
But there's definitely the need for people to have that assistance with
Sure.
transportation because I noticed down the street from me, I took my mom to an appointment one day. This is before we opened the business. And she was sitting there waiting on her loved one to come and pick her up.
Come on.
So
And
I
Nedra,
try-
this business, I'm sorry, Barbara, this business is former
myself,
colleague.
no, it's myself and my husband.
Okay.
His name is Steven.
Okay.
So it's myself and my husband right now, and we're the two owners and operator of.
Kind of looking through your website earlier, your hours are great. I was expecting 9 to 5, and nope, that's it. We you are available starting at 6 a.m.
6
most
a.m.
days?
And we're going to change those hours because we have clients that call and they need to be at the hospital for
Right.
p.m. So we're looking to change our hours to accommodate people. But to be honest, Jen, when people call, I answer and accommodate their needs.
I went through cancer 15 years ago,
I'm sorry.
and for 8 weeks, I went for radiation every morning.
Yes.
And this would have been great for me. There and
Yeah.
anxiety and all that. To have somebody bring me and make me home afterwards. would have
And
been
then for something
wonderful.
like that, if we have to pick you up, we have nice wheels all the way back
Oh wow.
to recline, to low fowler. So you're laying back all the way or even laying flat.
I'd probably fall asleep.
We also do local transportation. So we service Santa Clarita area and surrounding cities, but we can also accommodate clients if you need to relocate from Santa Clarita City. So we do long distance transport.
Let's
as well.
talk about the vehicles you have.
Okay.
What do you have?
We have a 2024 Ford Transit. So we have, or even if you walk with a walker, we can put you on the back of the lift and it'll raise you up into the van, and then we'll come in and we'll get you secured. Yes.
That's great.
That's
And
great.
all of the pictures are on the website. So if you go to nolamedtransport.com, you'll see everything there.
I did see it. It's beautiful. And then, you know, if you're in a wheelchair bound, it can strap in. I don't know the medical term, right?
Yes.
But you're secure.
You're very
You're
secure.
not you're not rolling around in the back, anything like
No.
that.
So even if out for a dinner and it's maybe two wheelchair, we can fit up to two wheelchair and three that can sit in chairs.
Okay, so you can
So
bring somebody
we can-
along
yes,
with you. You're not
so-
just going by yourself with
No,
someone that you don't
no.
know, and you see a friendly
and
face.
if you need someone to assist you to your doctor's appointment, the first companion is free.
Oh, great. Doctors,
No.
obviously I saw like dialysis treatment, nursing home, assisted living, transport, and such. But also you do drop off as well?
We can do airport. I just had a client last week. He wanted to go down to Ventura to meet up with some friends. He's not able to drive his own vehicle on the freeway, so he arranged a ride with us.
Oh wow.
And we took him and we waited for him to have lunch, and then we came back.
And you said a ride to dinner as well.
Yes.
So I guess for folks that are in a assisted living facility, they can get picked up. And
Yes, and if they
go out
want to
with the
get out,
family.
yes,
Yeah.
and just want to go see their family. On Christmas Day, my husband and I, we did 3 runs. We did 3 transports that day. Clients, because they wanted to get out of their either boarding care or their assisted living facility to have dinner, Christmas dinner with their family. So we were able to.
Important.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely important.
Yes, the beauty about this, what I speak from. What we love about this is because we can take what we have done at the bedside. Because everybody, I always tell people when I used to precept them and teach, I did as a respiratory therapist, you have to treat people how you want to be treated. So I know if I'm sitting somewhere and I haven't been out, I want to get out and see what's going on for them to get out and see what's going on and still have that quality of life as well.
So do you work with UCLA up here?
No, I actually retired from Ronald Reagan UCLA in Westwood. I retired in
because
February.
My oncologist is Dr. Alexander Black,
Yes.
and I went to him when I was 75. I went to him when I was 85. I told my kids if I get cancer again at 95, I'll go to him again.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And I'll beat it again.
Yes, you will.
I absolutely will. Not old age will
Or hold
kill
you
me.
or hold you down
Yeah.
if you need to get
That's
out.
right.
And it's good to have
That's
a
right.
service like NOLA.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
sure.
it is, because used one of the local, and I won't mention the name, to take me to Palmdale, and the driver was all over the road. I mean, I asked him, I said, will you please slow down?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
he was so rude, and I said to myself, I will never use these drive companies out here again.
Well, most of
ever.
those companies aren't equipped or familiar with people's needs, especially
Yeah.
your doctor's appointments and you got physical.
For a doctor's appointment, this was just to go. I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
And because I think at the time my car was wrong. so I got one of these local companies to take me up there.
Now, I'm sorry for that you had to experience that, but I know with NOLA, we are professional and compassionate. That's very important. Dependable service. It's so important. And that's what I was saying. Taking what my husband and I do at the bedside to what we're doing. From my own experience, I have walked this journey already with my mother, not being able to provide for having her feel lonely. But with us, you know, we communicate with our clients. We make sure that you get there safe. And then, like I said, we're waiting to see that we're there, and we'll take you back.
Now,
Well, it's a great combo. It's
Yeah.
people
Yes.
who have the medical experience and know how to be as good or maybe as scared and you know, apprehensive about the doctor's office that they're going to, as
Yes.
opposed to just any driver. You have someone who has been there.
And you're scared, but this is kind of a restart for you.
It is a restart. It is a restart. And I'm going to tell you, I needed balance only because, like I say, caring for my mom at the bedside. Plus, I know that I need it. And this helps me to also take care of people in a different way.
Sure.
So, yes.
Oh yeah,
That bedside
can-
manner, you got to have that.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
I can attest to that because when my husband got so sick, I had to have a home care service come in at night so that I could get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Because he couldn't sleep in
Yeah.
his bed because of his back problems. The chair, the one that, you know, goes flat, well, almost flat. And so I had to have long-term care.
Yes.
I'm so glad I got that insurance.
Sure.
Oh, and I had talked to Russ, many years ago, 15 years ago, had some long-term care insurance. And he said, "What are you talking about? We don't need that. We've got the money." And I thought, you know, I'm going to get it.
Yes.
I was paying the bills, and because he didn't want he didn't want anything to do with the money. He just, you know,
Yeah.
bought the money in investments, and so I went ahead and got long-term care insurance.
That's awesome.
And boy, did it pay for that.
Yeah.
Paid 65%
Oh, that's great.
of every bill we had.
So
Well-
speaking of insurance, you brought me to at least mention work. Do you accept certain insurances?
So right
pay out
now-
of pocket.
Right now, Jen, we are not accepting insurance. We only do but our prices are reasonable for clients because I understand that some people are on fixed incomes.
Right.
But we are in the process of doing the credential. Hopefully by June we'll have all of that so we can take Medi-Cal and certain other insurance.
What
Kaiser.
about Medicare?
Medicare only for non-emergency medical transportation, but it's only the doctor has to write a note for you saying that you have this condition and you need non-emergency medical transportation.
I see. That's very interesting.
Yes, so it's a lot. Being on this side now, I'm learning a lot, but we are in the process of getting credentialed for insurance.
That's
to be able to
terrific.
reach.
That'll be a big help
So-
and increase your business.
Yes, but like I said, right now we're doing private pay, so we work out membership prices for clients who use. We are able to provide them a low-cost service,
Oh,
but still give them
that's
good
terrific.
quality. Give them good quality care.
Yeah, because a lot of seniors
Yes.
and don't have the money to pay for something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And it
which
can
they
just be.
desperately need.
Oh yeah, certainly. Time to help me tomorrow. I'm in a
Yes.
bind, or I can sign up, like you just mentioned, like a membership.
For
It
a
can be
membership, yes.
Either
It can
one.
be
Okay.
either or. It can be a one-time thing or a membership. So
Okay.
6 or more, then we can work out.
Okay.
I'm thinking about a senior center. They can keep you kind of busy.
Oh, yes, they can.
That
No.
is an
Seniors, I'm a senior now as well. We don't stay home. We get out and we do
Yes,
stuff.
and you need to for good
Yeah.
quality of life, yes.
yeah. I'm morning.
But I can still drive a car, which is great. Others are not so fortunate. You know, you get to a point where, you know, it's time to let the most of the driving. This is a good option.
Yes.
And you guys are all as well.
Certified,
CPR,
yes,
First Aid.
yes.
Very important. You don't
Yes.
get that with a ride
Yes.
share.
No.
Yeah.
You certainly
You get
don't.
yelled at and told that they're
Yeah,
driving.
just like myself, never ever again
Well,
will I use
like I
one.
said, I'm sorry for that experience, but I just want to say something really quick. Even though you're still driving, even if you have a colonoscopy, one of those outpatient procedures, Uber or Lyft cannot take you home.
Right.
So then that's when you will call NOLA Med Transport.
Ah,
So yeah, mostly if you're in a hospital or whatnot, they won't let you drive out.
No.
You got to take
No.
you home or what have you.
Yes.
I'm
So-
fortunate that I have a son and a daughter who live in Palmdale. Granddaughter works, so she's not there during the day, but she
Yes.
is during the evening.
Yes, and a lot of people, they can't take off to take parents or loved one to a
That's-
hospital or a doctor's appointment.
That's
what
very
we do.
true.
We need to
Very
take a break. I'm Mike Dowler with my co-host
Barbara Cochran.
on your hometown station, FM 98.1 Senior Hour on KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Mike Dowler.
on your 1FM AM 1220 KHTS. And our next guest is Adam Laraway of Focus Physical Therapy. And
Thank you
it's
very
good
much.
to
Thanks
see
for having
you.
me.
Welcome back.
Good to see you. Thank you. Appreciate
So
that.
what's on the agenda for today?
Well, I thought we'd talk about kind of as we get older and our seniors about muscle mass. Muscle mass is so crucial for living a long time, and they're doing a lot of research on that right now. Important keeping your muscle mass is to how long you live, and it makes sense when you think about it because if you strong, your balance is going to be less, and you're more likely to fall, and then you
Oh, tell me about
break
it.
a hip or
Tell
something
me
like that,
about
end
it.
up in the hospital, pneumonia, and so that's what we're seeing a lot of research right now that they're looking at, muscle mass and that type of stuff. And things of physical therapy is that with the newbie we can artificially strengthen you really, really quickly. So the current, we work with a lot of patients who maybe have had a total knee replacement, maybe they've got arthritis, and so you can't do a lot of heavy lifting because you add that kind of load and it's going to cause pain. Doesn't feel good. Literally in your muscles, and we can artificially make it like you're lifting 150 pounds, but you're only maybe getting up out of a chair. And so cool the system and get people stronger without having to put a lot of load and lift a lot of heavy weights. Obviously, if you don't have a newbie, you've got to lift stuff. You've got to do, exercises that work those muscles and make sure you maintain that muscle mass. But unfortunately, we start to lose muscle mass at like 3% a decade. So
You wonder about those astronauts. They're up in space for 8
for
months.
sure, yeah, that's huge for them coming back because they haven't been exposed to gravity for that 8-9 months, and gravity is what causes our bones to keep the density. And that's why it's so important to get out and walk and do those things, because that compression into the joints and into the bones, they keep the density, where it should be. We see people who quickly and don't build up that bone density if they haven't run in, say, years, and then all of a sudden they start running, you can get a stress fracture because your bone can't handle that load or that stress, and then eventually something's going to break down. In that case, a stress fracture
Well,
can happen.
I try to get out and walk every day.
Walk.
Walk up and either I'll get on that bicycle
Yep.
and pedal.
Yep.
and
Weren't
pedal
you a
and
swimmer
pedal.
too?
No.
No, really. Okay.
Well, I've always, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not a professional swimmer.
No, I mean,
at
I'm
all.
saying
Oh yeah.
recreationally and for physical
Oh yeah,
therapy, it's great.
I used to go to the what's the name?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I used to go swim there.
Yeah.
Do the water aerobics,
Yep.
and I loved it.
Like Esther Williams right there.
Absolutely loved it. I'm sorry.
Esther Williams.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, Barbara,
So,
when you-
Adam, is water better than walking? Is it
not
difficult to
necessarily.
compare?
Different-
I guess.
Yeah, because there are
It's
different
different.
things in the water. So if you're in waist deep water, you're only getting about 50% of the body weight through, your bones.
But when
and
you're doing water, that's different.
it's good exercise, but
It's
it's
very
not
good.
for so I used to do pool therapy 3 days a week at my old clinic, and it was great for to see a lot of back surgeries where they don't want necessarily the compression through the joints as they're
Right.
recovering from back surgery. So we get you in the water, and we know if you're level percent weight bearing, You know, if I get you to shoulder depth, you're only like 10%. So, you know, somebody who has like a weight bearing restriction, we could get them in the water, could do stuff. I had one really fun gal that I worked with years ago, but she was a ballerina and had injured her leg and couldn't put much weight on it. But I could get her in the water and see the water, so it slowed down the movement so she could do her jumps and leaps and stuff like that, and we could work on the positions without the load that we were putting on the joints, which was really fun.
Well, they used to have water aerobics up at COC, and I used to go there 3 days a week.
And water aerobics are great because you're getting resistance from the water, and you don't realize because of that buoyancy sometimes how much you're working. Because, and to get a little scientific, so when you're in the and you get what's called increased cardiac output, so meaning your heart doesn't have to pump as hard because of the compression from the water. And so, but you don't necessarily realize how hard you're working. So when you get out of the water, a lot of times that's why you would feel really heavy and kind of fatigued, because you did work hard.
It's interesting because if you've noticed, I don't have my sticks anymore.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
Where did they go? What happened?
He said, "Get your sticks, Mom. Get your sticks." So
Yep.
we took him in the car.
Uh-huh.
But when he dropped me off here,
Uh-huh.
I got out
You
with
forgot.
my bag and started walking. "Mom, you forgot your sticks."
Did you just pretend you didn't and kept walking?
Wow.
You're like, I'm not going back to get them.
Let's go back a bit, Adam, on the newbie. Tell us what it is.
So the new form of it's different than all the other ones that most people that have been in physical therapy have had. All of those are alternating current. What makes newbie different is it's direct current. That current actually mimics the nervous system. So when we put those pads on your skin, it's giving your brain input. Your body knows, or your brain knows, what to do with those inputs. You know, based on the mapping that we found where the areas of dysfunction were. And so when you give the body those inputs, weren't working, or maybe if they're overworking and they're, say, almost like restrictive or spasming, we can shut those guys off by giving what it needs.
Really cutting edge, Barbara.
It's cool stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I've gone through it.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, tell us about it. Did it hurt?
Oh, yeah. Well, you.
And right, like, no. Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah, 1,000 volts or anything. Yeah.
No, and
you sit in this chair and you put your feet in this container of water, and they put pads in the water,
right.
and pads on the back of your neck and a couple of other places.
It just depends on what we're utilizing.
And this neuropathy for my feet,
Okay.
which it's beginning to come back again.
We may
so
not
I'm
have
gonna
got in.
have to come in to see
Yep,
you
we
again.
might need to come back and.
But what they do is they turn the electricity on, and you can feel it in your feet, and tell them when it gets too much for you to handle.
Yeah. So the machine goes from
It's-
0 to 100%.
I can't really explain it.
No.
It's vibration.
Yeah.
That's more like
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's
a-
comfortable.
And somebody's always there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
they're
turn it on and
all
walk over to lunch.
Well,
Yeah.
and
No.
a lot of different capacity. So in the case with Barbara, where she had peripheral neuropathy, we had 2 pads on her lower back where the nerves come out of your spinal cord.
That's right.
And then we put
I knew there were
Yeah.
other ones than
Yeah,
me.
and then we put 2 pads in the water to basically, because with the feet, it's a small area, and so putting your hand, we can literally electrify the water, which I know sounds crazy, but it doesn't electrocute you.
Yeah.
But then we can the whole hand. So we do what's called a hand bath or a foot bath for that aspect of the treatment. And there's a study they're publishing right now that showed within 12 sessions, they showed neuropathy that it actually improved, which the gold standard test for that is called the nerve conduction velocity test, which tells us how long it takes from the nervous system to send a signal from point A to point B. And if you've got compression on the nerve, then that conduction will decrease. And so with the study that they did with the newbie, it actually showed the improvement in that nerve conduction velocity. So we know that the nerve was healing and starting to get better, which in your case, we just may not have done it consistently enough or enough sessions to kind of really get that result.
How long has it been since?
Months.
It's
Yeah,
been
because I think
quite
it was
a few
before
months.
Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah.
Way before
Yeah,
Christmas.
so it's been 4 months. So
It's been at least, no,
Yeah.
didn't I start in October?
that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
October,
Yeah.
November, December, January, February, March.
Yeah.
What were your concerns, Barbara, when you started taking this therapy?
Concerns. All I wanted to do after having Adam on this show, and he was talking about the newbie, and I thought, well, I was taking gabapentin,
Mm.
4 pills a day.
Yeah.
And I start taking to help with this neuropathy.
Yeah.
But it did so much good
Yeah.
with me putting my feet in that water and having the electric, whatever I call
Yeah.
it, vibration.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's vibration.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And we-
they're
we
very,
take it-
very, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. And we
Tingly.
take it
But
kind
it's
of.
what?
Kind of tingly.
Yes, yes, but very, depending on the tingling would get higher or lower.
And how long is the session? Does it depend on what you're treating, I guess, or?
Our sessions are,
Yeah,
so,
you're in
and
there for about
you know,
an hour.
for Barbara, we did the foot bath for probably about 15 minutes. That's usually the thing. Newbie, we have a lot of different ways that we can treat with it. There's also a glove, which makes my hand basically one of the electrodes. So sometimes we would do
Yes,
that.
we
So
did that.
you person, and then my hand becomes the electrode, so I could do manual therapy with the glove as my hand is an electrode. So we use it in that aspect.
Used all-
So for somebody who's in pain and stuff like that,
Sure.
a lot of times we'll map. So we literally have them come in, and we use a pad that has a sponge on it, and then we literally over the skin, and we kind of break the body into quadrants. So if you came in with a shoulder problem, we would map your cold quadrant, kind of upper back, chest, neck. You came in with a knee, we're going to map your lower, leg, hip, and kind of lower back. And wherever the brain is sending a signal, when we get over those spots, because that intensity goes up, and that's how we know where your body is sending a signal that's causing the problem. And so we stick a pad on there, and then we map again, find a kind of sec for that first spot, and then stick another pad on there. So it's really pretty cool.
So you can go back for maintenance.
You
Basically.
you can. I mean, they do have back for different issues, or they may come back. Because if sometimes you don't completely get the issue resolved, there is a chance that it can come back. So then you got to get back in there and do it again. But ideally, we're trying to resolve the issue so it doesn't come back.
Mine's beginning to come back again.
Peripheral neuropathy is one of those, like, there's never takes the edge off. It blocks the pain receptors in the system, but it's medication. It's not fixing the underlying problem.
I know.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just medication. It's fixing.
That's what's so
exactly
cool about
right.
this study, because this is the first thing that really has shown an increase in that nerve conduction velocity. That's the gold test.
I quit seeing it. Mine, it completely disappeared.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking any more medication.
Yeah.
Wow.
But now it's starting to come.
Yep.
Feel it a little bit now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a very uncomfortable feeling too.
Yeah, peripheral neuropathy is not fun, and it's very, very common.
But I don't have it in any other part of my body but my feet.
Yeah.
That's the only part I have.
Yep. And that's it's your
Yeah.
feet. Yep, for sure.
It's amazing.
We're talking to Adam Laraway. Name your company again and how they get a hold of you, too.
Focus Physical Therapy, and our phone number is 661-255-4205, and our website is www.focusptscv.com, and we're located 25 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205.
And you can go to hometownstation.com. That information is there as well. How long have you been doing this now? Obviously, this is new technology for you. This at first when you heard about this, or?
A little bit when I first heard about it. So I've been a PT for 25 years, so I treated for 18 of them,
Right.
and then about 7 years ago, so because it was 2017 was when the newbie got approved for treatment, and I was about, I think, in the nation to get one back in 2019. So I had discovered it and was, like you said, a little question. We flew to Tampa Bay, Florida, and trained with the director of PT for NewFit. And once I saw it in action, I was sold. So, yeah. Treating with
amazing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing.
And again, not just for neuropathy, for
For all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. I actually, and I do the frequency that we started at the beginning of the show. I was doing strength training yesterday and literally, just lifting a PVC pipe, but doing like a bicep curl where I was trying to do, 50, 60 pounds. And I am sore today.
I bet you are. I was going to say your body
Yeah.
muscle mass.
Yep, absolutely. And that's one really cool thing, even from my own perspective of, it's kind of funny story. Pretty thin, and I've never been that body type to put on a lot of muscle mass. And I have been strength training with the newbie for quite some time, and my arm to, because I was ordering a piece of equipment and I needed the size of my arm, and I had measurements from when I had done it about a year and a half. And people had made comments about my arms getting bigger, and I was like, you guys are just whatever. But then I took the measurements, and my arms were actually about 2.5 inches bigger, which for so I put on that muscle mass, which I don't normally do.
Wow.
it's amazing.
Well,
Amazing.
yeah, it
Pretty
is.
cool stuff.
Well, we need to take a break. We'll be back to speak with Adam Laraway. Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Mike Dowler.
on your hometown station, 90 AM 1220 KHTS, and we're speaking with Adam Laraway from Focus Physical Therapy. Continue talking about muscle mass,
You bet.
because what does muscle mass mean?
Well, muscle mass just means like, the circumference. We're doing a lot of studies right now and looking at, how long we survive and how long we live. And the more muscle mass you have, the longer you tend to live. And kind of we touched on it a little bit earlier where it's important that you've got that strength so that your balance is better and you're falling. And you had mentioned too that you either go for a walk, which is great, or you ride your bike. And with the bike, one of the things, is resistance. Because to stimulate your muscles to grow, you have to create load on the muscles or tension.
Yeah, because I can turn up and it gets harder and
yep.
harder to pedal.
Yep, and you need some of that because then, you feel your muscles starting to burn a little bit, and that's how, when your muscles burn, it's because they're working, they're using energy, but there's also what I call metabolic waste that develops in the muscles, and when you start to burn, it's because it's burning up all that or getting there. But you have to put that type of load to stimulate the brain to say, oh, well, I need to repair those muscles and I need to make them stronger. The force that was put, was too much, and so you stimulate that response. If you're just riding the bike and there's no resistance and it's super easy, like
It doesn't.
it's help the vascular system, but it's not going to help with the muscle mass, so to speak.
Yeah, because when I'm pedaling, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I've got to turn it up.
Exactly.
So it's and that does me more good in the long run.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you, I don't know whether I told you or not, but I used to sit in my husband's monstrous chair,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have to push like crazy to get out of it.
Right, yeah.
And finally decided, my daughter came with me, and we went to every furniture store around here.
Yeah.
And looking for one of those chairs that would help me make it easier for me to get out of the chair, because with that big one, I would push myself up. Sometimes I'd fall on my knees, which hurt.
That's then scary.
So and so we went to one of the pharmacies around here, and because I had seen them.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, let's go there. We've been to all the other furniture stores, and so we went into the pharmacy, and there it was. And I sat in it, and they showed me how to push the button, and it lifts me up like this so that I can not push and struggle to get up.
Right.
But I can just walk out of the chair.
Yep.
It's nicer.
Yep. But you're cheating because it's
I
lifting
am
the chair.
cheating.
It's lifting the chair up for you.
Yeah, I am cheating. But that's why I'm trying to do
Right.
and doing the pedaling on the
Exactly.
machine to make up for that loss.
For sure, and that's why it's important to get that muscle mass so that you
Yes.
can lift up out of the chair without having to.
Muscle mass.
Adam Laraway, how do they reach you?
We are located at 25050 Peachland Avenue, Suite 205. Our website is www.ptfocus. And phone number is 661-255-4205.
Thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
It's
Thanks for
very,
having
very
me.
important. And thank you, Barbara, for letting me co-host that.
We enjoyed it, didn't we?
You've been tuned to the Senior Hour here on your hometown station, FM 98.1 and AM 1220 KHTS. We're sponsored by Keepers and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. Now go and enhance your quality of life.